This match, we got Jocelyn taking on Mariana. Jocelyn pulled in her first match, and she pulls again in the second match. So now it's time to start my spiel about posture and closed guard. And really, it all comes down to your own head. Mariana in this situation has to try to keep her head fairly far away from Jocelyn's head. Not too far, because then you'll risk them sitting up for hip bumps, things like that. But now Jocelyn's looking to work a triangle here. Mariana shook it off. But basically, you kind of have to find the sweet spot, the Goldilocks range of sitting back enough that you should be sitting back enough so your weight is mostly on your heels, but you need your arms to frame. And in Jocelyn's match against Morgan, she did a really good job of just staying super active with her arms when she was in closed guard. You still need your legs in closed guard to pull and break your partner's balance, but your arms are what's doing the majority of the work. Look how much her arms are moving. She's constantly moving. And she needs to, because she has to try to strip these grips. Mariana's looking to frame on her shoulders. If you're in closed guard, you don't want someone framing on you, because that means they're pinning you down and they're going to look to do their move. You want to do your moves. So it's important that Jocelyn's just staying real busy, and she has potential to come out for the back here. Now she did a nice job of passing off Mariana's wrist, so she has a gift wrap, Mariana's own arm around her neck. She was able to shake that off. So Jocelyn's doing a good job so far of kind of staying busy. For Mariana to look to take control here, she has to start by opening the guard. And like I said, you start with the posture, but then you need some type of mechanism to actually break the guard. So if she was able to use her hands and kind of get two hands stacked on top of each other to push inside Jocelyn's knee, that would likely work. But the battle is going to be to do it while Jocelyn's not trying to pull her hands and break her balance. Jocelyn's still pulling on the head. Notice how she's always between like the head, the wrists, and the forearms, right? Because it's going to disrupt any time that Mariana wants to make a grip. If she's not gripping the forearm, she's pulling down on the head. And if you can't control your own posture and you're forced to look down, it means that you're not going to be the one attacking. She tried to climb the guard up again there and maybe go for an arm lock. But Mariana's doing a real good job of just kind of shaking off all these attacks and just staying calm, because there's no points on the board yet. In Mariana's situation, it doesn't really matter what Jocelyn throws at her, as long as she's able to manage it and stay cool under pressure. The score is still going to be tied, and she's going to have an opportunity to get a score of her own. She's looking to stand up. Jocelyn's got a hold of an ankle. She's looking to grab both ankles and try to dump Mariana to her butt. But Mariana's doing a good job of keeping those feet away enough. She stepped that right foot back. Now she has the guard open. Now is the opportunity that I was talking about. And Jocelyn stood back up. And since Jocelyn pulled guard, there's no reason for Jocelyn to stand back up there. She could have stayed on the bottom. This is going to give Mariana a chance to take her down. And now Mariana, so far, is controlling the stand-up exchange, pulling on the head, pushing Jocelyn around a little bit. Just tried to pull her in again there. Jocelyn countered, looking for a body lock. Nice exchange. Mariana with a nice level change there. Gives Jocelyn something to think about. Nice collar ties. And Jocelyn pulls closed guard again. So see, unless Jocelyn was really looking to get the takedown there, she should have just stayed on the bottom to begin with, because if you stand back up, it's just too risky. It allows your opponent to try to attempt another takedown. Why give them two chances when you already brought the action to the ground and you were successful in your guard pull attempt? So I would tell Jocelyn, if you're on the bottom and you want to be on the bottom, even if they stand back up, that doesn't mean you have to stand up. It's not an MMA fight. You can stay on the ground. They have to engage you. She's trying to sit up, likely for a hip bump, but Mariana's doing a good job of pushing her back down. She's got to try to look to use her arms to frame. Jocelyn's posted up onto a hand there. Goes back down again. And Jocelyn might do well to look for 2-on-1s in this situation. A 2-on-1 wrist grip would be good, because that could maybe lead to like an arm drag situation. just sitting up on that, when she sits up and posts on the hand, it's not actually really doing too much because Jocelyn's carrying all of her own weight. If you're driving into your opponent, you should be pushing your hips into them. Jocelyn should also look to use that high guard more. If Mariana's posture is broken, that's the time to start walking those feet up and try to get them on Mariana's upper back rather than her lower back. The high guard is good because it allows you to go into triangles and arm locks a lot faster and a lot easier than it does from this situation. A high guard is always a nice thing to have if you're playing close guard. Jocelyn's looking to sit up again now, maybe looking to get an angle. The timer actually runs out very shortly in this match, and Christine gave a referee's decision to Jocelyn. And I don't like referees' decisions, and let me tell you why, because I think the competitor should be the one that decide the winner, not a referee or a judge. Why let the refs decide when we can let the players decide? If you look at all the major North American sports leagues like NBA, NHL, MLB, none of them have ties. Does anyone remember what the NHL was like when there was ties? It sucked, man. Like, it felt like you wasted 2 hours if a game ended in a tie. And just from a spectator perspective, there needs to be a winner and a loser. And I've competed in several matches where it's ended in a tie or I won a ref's decision. And to me, it's just kind of a hollow victory. I think let the players decide. Overtime format is another topic in itself, but I think we should let them fight it out and see who the winner and the loser is.